ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome back to our new video tutorial. This is going to be part 4 of book 1 and lesson 3. Last time we were working on exercise 2 on page 15. We will continue from there, but before we do that, I would like to give you some idea about the types of sentences in Arabic. If you remember, in part 2 of this lesson, we learned 3 types of words. Do you remember what they were? They were فعل, حرف, and اسم, right? فعل is a verb, just like English verbs. حرف is a particle. Do you remember the example for حرف? و, لا, and nam. We only learned 3 of them so far. These were basically the words that do not carry meaning on their own. They have to come with other words to produce a meaning. And ism was all other types of words that are not fi'l or harf, and that included nouns, adjectives, pronouns, and many more. Remember, these were the types of words in Arabic. There is no more category besides these 3. Now, let's talk about the types of sentences. In Arabic, there are actually only 2 types of sentences. جملة اسمية, nominal sentence. جملة فعلية, verbal sentence. Here, جملة means sentence. اسمية is nominal, derived from اسم. And فعلية means verbal, derived from the word فعل. And here is the key difference between the 2. The جملة اسمية starts with اسم, and جملة فعلية starts with فعل. Now, because we do not know any verb in Arabic at the moment, we will put aside the جملة فعلية for the time being and instead talk a bit more about جملة اسمية. In fact, you already know the جملة اسمية without knowing that you know it. Let me give you an example. المسجد مفتوح. The masjid is open. So why do you think this is a جملة اسمية? Let's go back to the definition. جملة اسمية starts with اسم. And this sentence or جملة is starting with المسجد. Is المسجد اسم? Of course. Then that means we are looking at the جملة اسمية. Another example. الحجر كبير. The rock is big. Is the جملة اسمية? It is starting with al-hajar, which is ism, so it will have to be jumla ismiya. Now let's take a look at the general structure of jumla ismiya. Any jumla ismiya that we may encounter will have 2 parts, okay? Mubtada, that's the first part, and khabar, that's the second part. Mubtada is the starting word of the sentence that we just talked about being ism. That ism is in fact called mubtada. So jumla ismiya starts with mubtada, and that mubtada is always ism. It may help you to think about mubtada as being the main hero of the sentence, because mubtada is what we are really talking about in a jumla ismiya type of sentences. Khabar, on the other hand, is the news or information that we are providing about the mubtada. Going back to these 2 examples. These simple sentences have only 2 words each, so one of them has to be mubtada and the other khabar. So in the first sentence, what would be the mubtada or the main hero of the sentence? Al-masjidu, right? Because we are really talking about al-masjid here. And then with maftuhun, we are giving news about mubtada that the masjid is open. So maftuhun will be the khabar. In the second sentence, what is that we are really talking about? Al-hajar, right? Al-hajar. So al-hajar, the stone, is mubtada because it's the main hero and also starts the sentence. And what is the ism kabirun coming as in a sentence? It is coming as khabar because it is describing or giving news about al-hajar. Let's see the rest of the sentences of the exercise 2 and figure out the mubtada and khabar in our sentences. اللبن بارد والماء حار. We are saying the milk is cold and the water is hot. Help me identify مبتدأ and خبر here. In fact, we have two مبتدأs and two خبرs here because we actually have two sentences joined by حرف و. The مبتدأ of the first sentence is the اسم اللبن and its خبر is باردٌ. In the second sentence, the مبتدأ is the اسم الماء and its خبر is the اسم حار. How about the next sentence? الإمام جالس والمدرس واقف. The imam is sitting and the teacher is standing. Keep in mind here that the words جالس and واقف are both ism. جالس literally translates into English as someone who is in sitting position. And similarly, واقف is someone who is in standing position. So don't confuse them to be fi'l or verbs. They are both ism, okay? Again, we have two sentences here, مبتدأ and خبر in each sentence. The ism, al-imamu and al-mudarrisu are both مبتدأ of their respective sentences, and the ism, jalisun and waqifun are coming as خبر of the sentence. Next, al-qamaru بعيد. The moon is far. The مبتدأ is al-qamaru, بعيد is خبر. Next sentence, al-mindilu nadhifun. The handkerchief is clean. The مبتدأ is al-mindilu and the خبر is nadhifun. Notice in all these sentences that we have talked about so far, مبتدأ is coming as معرفة, definite ism, and خبر is coming as nakira, indefinite ism. And that is typically the way it is because مبتدأ is what we are talking about. It is always something we already know about. So it needs to be معرفة. And خبر typically gives new information about مبتدأ. And so it comes as nakira. This is the typical structure of جملة اسمية that we will see in many sentences that we will learn in this book. And inshallah, you will become experts in جملة اسمية by the end of the book 1. Now we are finished with this exercise, but let me give you another two example sentences. هذا قط ذلك كلب. These two sentences are also جملة اسمية because if you remember, both هذا and ذلك are ism and both of them are معرفة. They are starting the sentence, so they have to be مبتدأ, and خبرs are قط and كلب, which are coming as nakirah. Let's stop here for now and start the exercise number 3 next time. Please review this video a few times so you are better familiar with terminologies that we learned, but do not worry if you don't remember all of them. We will repeat them many times in the future lessons inshallah. I will see you in the next video inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum.